Hello, we're here again. This is a circuit board for a Ford Expedition. These are in expeditions from about 2003 to 2006. And what is going on here is the fuel pump relay has melted down, as you can see right in here. Well, the problem with these things, and a lot of times what causes it, and you can also see where the board has gotten hot over here. The fuel pump can be stressed by not changing the filter. The fuel pump could be going bad, and it will cause this relay to melt down. There's not a whole lot of tolerance on this thing because it's pretty tiny. Under normal circumstances, it doesn't really cause an issue. It doesn't draw enough current to cause this to happen, but a lot of times what will cause it is, like I said, is fuel filter not being changed, which puts more load on the pump and it draws more current, and so therefore you get a burned out relay. We also have a problem up here on this particular board. You got a bit of a burnt contact here, and this can happen for a couple different reasons. This is the main relay for the computer, and sometimes the relays can actually just have a bad contact on the inside. The contacts wear, and therefore they start building up heat, and eventually it'll burn the connector because the resistance gets higher, and resistance causes heat, and then you end up with this. And I'm going to try to fix this. I'm going to take this out and clean it up, and then I'm going to actually make a little bit more of a redundant piece of wire on top of this trace here, and clean all the corrosion off of that, and hopefully that'll be okay. But again, you know, if the connections get loose, get weak, then, you know, they start to break down and start having a lot of resistance to them. It can cause this. This was taken out of a expedition of a friend of mine, and he went ahead and removed the board from the fuse box, and just gave me this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. But I figured I'd make a video of it because it seems to be a kind of a common problem, and so I'm going to show how to go ahead and change this relay out here, and I'm going to attempt to fix that connector there. Alright, I got my desoldering tool heated up here, and so I'm going to go ahead and try to pull out this relay. Sometimes when solder gets dark like that, it's actually hard to remove because it does want to melt. But we'll see how this goes here. I've actually got a tip on here that's a little bit, excuse me, a little bit too big. Looks like it's working okay though. And if you don't have a desoldering tool like this, you can use just regular desoldering braid. It's a little bit harder, something like this, and when you get with boards that are double-sided, it can be a lot harder to get off. So that's why I'm using my desoldering tool, and as you can see, it just pulls right out with that tool. I'll leave a link up there to another video where I demonstrate that tool and unboxing of it. Well, we got that relay out. Let's go ahead and grab the new one. And I got the new relays off of Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description to that. Basically, if you just search for this number here, they'll come up with an equivalent. And I'll just pop that down in there like that. And these are actually genuine Omron relays, so that's a good thing. Just pop that in there like that. Alright, I got my soldering iron heated up here. I'll try to zoom in for you. That one pin on this relay, it wasn't that bad, so the the shellac on the solder mask was slightly discolored, but it didn't cause any issues as far as getting the solder off or anything. And I'll zoom back out here. It's kind of hard to see. I need to get a different camera for close-ups. Well, that fixes that issue. And I'm going to go ahead and attempt something with this connector right here. Let's see if I can get it with this. This may be too thick of a connector to use this, but we'll see. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be too thick. Plus the solder's kind of, when solder gets too hot, it gets really weird to try to remove it. Well, what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to try to flood some more solder into it. And usually the just getting some new solder to flood into it actually helps it to be able to be removed. Sounds counterproductive, but it does work. A little bit more here. I want to remove the this connector so that I can clean it up before I put it back in. Try to put these cutters under here and use it to pull this out. Oh, looks like that worked. Yeah, as you can see, the board is actually tore up pretty good from the heat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. And for this, I am going to use some solder wick because that does work better in this type of a situation. And this trace is basically to the point it's going to lift off the board because it has been overheated so badly. I'm going to remove some of this solder mass also, probably down to about here so that I can reinforce it with another piece of wire. I'm going to pause while I clean up that connector. Alright, and I spared you the re-cleaning of the connector and everything there. And I've put it back in the board, and basically you can use, you know, wire brush or some very light sandpaper or something like that to clean those connectors, and then at the base of them you can kind of squeeze them a little bit and tighten them up with some cutters or pliers. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to solder it back in. Turn the heat up a little bit on my soldering iron. These connectors are pretty fat, so they will soak up some heat. And then I'm going to lay down some solder on here. Just to try to reinforce that trace. And as you can see, the connector is not all brown like it was before, and it's I've tightened it up so it should be good as far as the contact with the new relay. I would definitely not use the same relay over, because the cause of this may be related to the relay itself internally, or the pin that's on the relay is probably damaged to the point where you should not put it back in there. And the power just went out. Wow, that's different. Pause, please. Alright, we got power back. That was weird. What I'm going to do here is I've just taken a little piece of copper wire, and I use the tweezers and just put a little hook on the end of it, and I'm going to use that to put it around the back side of this connector here. And then I'm going to solder that into place and help make that connection a little bit stronger. If I can get that there like that. I'm going to go ahead and tin this wire to help aid with getting it on there. So, alright, I'm just going to melt this down into the joint here. And I'll just solder it down. I'm just going to add a little bit of flux here. And I'm going to make sure that this connector is straight. A little bit crooked. Alright, got that nice and straight. I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the excess wire here. Clean off the board. And we should be good to go. That's the finished product there, and we've got the piece of wire in with the connector there soldered into it to help with the damaged trace that was on there. And I just kind of ran it back till it was lifted up pretty bad right here, and I just ran this wire back to about there. It seemed like it was really in good shape right there. You can kind of see the whole trace was getting warm, there was obviously a lot of current that was being pulled through that relay, and it's probably, like I said, it's probably due to a clogged fuel filter, or the pump itself is going bad. But usually it's just the fuel filter being clogged will cause that thing to draw way too much current. So looks like everything else is good. So that's about it for this video. And if you have any comments or questions, just leave them down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And I think that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching.